Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? This is our quick video series. We call it FunTips, just quick, simple tips to get you from having to search on YouTube all hours of the day. Well, today we're going to cover what we call the big risks to investing. I'm going to cover 4 of them here for you. We're talking about the 4 major types of risks when it comes to investing, and if we help you in some way, maybe you'll consider investing with us here at Jazz Wealth. We build and manage our own portfolios, and they're all visible right on our website. In addition, we help with financial advice and anything we can do, just like the big companies do, but we'll work with any of you who are maybe just getting started or found your way along close to retirement. If you transfer your account here in the month of February, we'll pay whatever transfer fees the other side may charge you. Well, let's get started. I don't want to waste any more of your time. The first most important type of risk when it comes to investing, not only from a portfolio standpoint, but from mind standpoint, is it's called volatility risk. Very typical. You can actually Google search it if you want to know in more detail, but volatility risk simply means the fluctuation in your account. You choose investments. Those investments have different personalities. They move in different ways. And a great example would be compare something like a Ford, you know, the car company, to something like Amazon. You know that Ford will probably move a lot slower than Amazon. That's going to wiggle back and forth, or Netflix, something like that. Highly volatile positions. Well, in your portfolio, it's very likely that you have many of these positions mixed together, and it's important that you know how they're going to move, meaning how volatile they're going to be. So our portfolios on our website are sort of ranked by volatility. The more aggressive you are, the more fluctuation in your account you're going to see. You need to be prepared for that, because a lot of us think, hey, I want to be aggressive. Let's go for it, man. I want as much growth as possible. And the second you see a sharp drop in your account, your mind says, run for the hills. That's it. I can't take it. Well, if you know ahead of time that volatility is a part of how you're investing, then great. Same thing on the other side. If you're being conservative and you don't see a lot of fluctuations in your account, if that's okay with you, then great. But if for some reason you look at your account, you go, come on, man, I want to see this thing grow more and more, it could be that you're not taking enough volatility risk in your account. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about as far as risk goes is called default risk. Sort of standard, typical investing 101. Default risk means pretty much what it sounds like. What are the chances that you invest in something that goes kaput, that disappears, that loses its value dramatically, if not altogether? Sears would be a great example of that one, although it hasn't lost all of its value. That's something that had a great value and is now not really worth that much. Puerto Rican bondholders, if you happen to own bonds in Puerto Rico, you know what I'm talking about. Radio Shack, Circuit City, Enron, Lehman Brothers, Wachovia. There's arguments to be made for each of those, but that's called default risk. You think a company cannot go under. Well, it happens, right? We've seen some big ones, especially in the retail space lately. So you want to know that you're diversified. It's okay if one company out of 200 maybe has a rough patch, right? General Electric being a good example. It's not okay if you invest in one thing and that one thing disappears or defaults and therefore is no longer worth anything really of value. So default risk. Really, the answer to that is just diversify. Use exchange-traded funds, a basket of stocks, or use mutual funds if that's what you prefer. We use our own portfolios here. We sort of pretend like they're mutual funds, but we don't offer them to the public. They run just like mutual funds, and you can actually see all of them right on our website. The third thing that I'll cover is inflation risk, okay? So this one's important because if you're not investing or saving enough to outpace inflation, the loss in the value of the dollar over time, well, then you may just be spinning your wheels. A good example would be high interest savings accounts. You're really just breaking even there, aren't you? Right? If you stick with that for the long run, you could be just breaking even. Last year, inflation 2.4%. The year before that, 2.1%. Let's round up and call it 2.5%. If you're not earning at least 2.5% on your investments over the long run, right, as an average, then you're really just kind of spinning your wheels. The amount you're gaining is being lost to inflation, and so that's a really important one there. A lot of people get too heavy in their savings accounts. Think about regular savings accounts. If you're making a fraction of a percent, you're basically losing money because you're not keeping up with inflation. And the fourth big risk that I'll cover today, mortality risk, right? What are the chances that you outlive your money? Now, every one of our customers, as they go through getting started here with us at Jazz, I kind of ask them some questions. well, how much do you want an income? Really, can we expect 87, 88, or should I as a lifespan, or should there be some reason that we think you live longer? Mortality risk is a big one. We use 87 as our age, meaning we calculate someone's retirement income to the point where they turn 88 years old. We essentially assume you die on your 88th birthday. I think that's more than enough for most people, but if you find that you have a family that just has good genes, they live longer, you may want to calculate that, so that you don't keep kicking, but your money is essentially dead, right? We want you to have enough money going into retirement. So there you go. Number 1, volatility risk. Number 2, default risk. Number 3, inflation risk. And number 4, mortality risk. It sounds like a lot, but if you're solving for these issues, then you know not only are you saving enough to get to your goal for retirement, but you are also going to not have these risks, or we've at least solved for them in some way. If I've helped you in some way, maybe you'll hit the subscribe button, and that'd be great. I appreciate that. And if you want to work with a financial advisor, but you're sort of intimidated by the guys in big suit and ties up at the top of those huge buildings, you go, well, how are they paying for that? I know they got to pay for that somehow. Chances are I'm paying for that. Keep us in mind here at Jazz Wealth. We work with all types of investors, whether you're just beginning or you're near retirement or in retirement, and we teach, man. We go through 4 steps. We get your account up and running. We help you understand your number. We'll look at your outside investments, and then we teach the living daylights out of you so you always know what's going on with your investments and your goals. That's all I have for you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Hey, wait! Before you go watch one of our other great videos, have you had a chance to see our new FinTips videos? They focus on one topic at a time, covering investing, personal finance, and anything that can quickly help you with your dough. Best of all, we'll keep it real short, because we know time is money.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.